So let me just start this video off by saying that this clip right here is a retroactive introduction, so to speak. The original clip I recorded yesterday experienced this intense gust of wind that just blew through and completely blocked out everything I was saying, and it rendered the clip completely useless. Here in southeastern Pennsylvania, we've had this constant weather pattern that changes every other day, and it causes lots of wind and lots of rain. So I'm going to try this again. Today is May 14th. The rest of the video would be from yesterday. I picked this John Deere JS26 up off the side of the road in a nearby neighborhood, doing my now usual runs because this is, I guess, going to be the year when I fix up and sell stuff. It's got a Briggs Stratton Quantum Series 190cc. It's your typical Briggs that's on the modern-ish lawnmowers. The date of manufacture is March 2011, which makes this a year newer than the Toro I fixed up in the last video. They threw it out with the bagger. Oh yeah, and you also notice that this thing is clean now, and it's gonna be dirty in the rest of the clips because of yeah, for the same reason I already stated. It's got this momentum drive system on it that's very similar to the personal pace, but it articulates differently, where it has a lock on it so you can push it around. You unlock it and then it pivots, and then it starts to move right about here. The thing was exceptionally heavy when loading it up into my truck, like most of these self-propelled systems are. I'm not a big fan of John Deere products, so this is definitely going to be a fix-up to sell. So I guess without further ado, we'll just take a look through the rest of the clips and you can see what I discovered. Alright, so we're just going to try to get into this as quick as possible, because I don't feel like waiting for it to charge up all the way. Let's see. So our big problem, or one of our big problems, is the large amount of grass that's remained dried up under here. The blade doesn't look too bent. Dry belt looks like it's seen better days. Just gonna have to clean up a bunch of rust. I guess what I'll do first is just try to get this thing to see if this thing will actually start. I can start to get into the details of why they threw it out. The abundance of gasoline suggests that they tried to start this up and it just didn't run. I should check the air filter first. Oh, yeah. Gotta replace that. Matter of fact, it looks like... What do they do to this? Alright, well, that's obviously not gonna run with that. And John Deere put this special pre-filter in, which is also pretty nasty. Alright, so we're just gonna see if this runs without the air filter then. Wonderful. Not at all. Let me spray some ether into the intake, and we'll see if it at least has spark. Shouldn't need that much. Alright, good. Let's just dump that old gasoline out and put some fresh stuff in, and I'll check the carburetor too to see what's up with that. It might just be all it needs to run. It's just the air filter, pre-filter, and carburetor clean. I think what I'll also do, that spark plug looks fairly new. That's the first I've actually come across a lawnmower that had one of these types. It's an E3. They put this in recently because this looks way too shiny to be 10 years old. Or 9 years old, actually. Well, we don't gotta change that. Got a suitable container. Just dump it right out. Yeah, it doesn't look like the right color. They left this in for a long time. I can smell the varnishy kind of smell. I think what I'll do, since I can't tip it all the way over, oh yeah, I can smell it now. Yeah, that gas is way too old. Well, it's good for cleaning, which I'm gonna have to do quite a bit, considering the fact that this carburetor's got quite a bit of grime on it. Please be the right size. I really don't feel like taking this carb all the way off. I'm gonna have to do that now because I think I just spilled some oil out of the PCV tube. Alright, just grab the whole set of tools. I gotta get to the back of this anyway to get this hose off, so I can put some fresh gas in and flush it out through the line. I can rinse it out of the tank and then out to the hose. It's got old gas in it. I got it to run. I sprayed some ether into the intake and it kicked up. I got.
Bad looking lawnmower.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a little bit scuffed up. I think I got to put some new wheels on it though if I'm gonna sell it.
Like tread worn off?
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe it'll be all right.
Much.
It's actually, I think this is.
Those are the ones that will be more worn, the ones with the power.
Yeah.
They don't look much different in the back ones. This one's got good tread. Yeah, I want those too.
These are actually rubber, I think, too, and they have heavy duty bearings, kind of like the Honda one over there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I change the tires.
Yeah, I'll probably just leave it. Well, even if it wasn't a tread, I gotta make sure the gears aren't stripped. I don't know yet. Okay. Wow. Let's see what kind of. Oh, yeah. Yuck. Oh, the float looks clean. Needle valve feels kind of stiff though. Yeah, we're gonna take this apart and clean it up a little bit better. I unfortunately don't have any carb cleaner right now, but a torch tip cleaner through the jet should suffice for now. Man, that gas is rancid. Gotta grab a 1/4 inch to get this thing off. There we go. Now let's look at the damage here. Pull off the pin. I know I'm setting all this stuff down on a dirty mower. I guess it's not too bad. Welch plug looks pretty awful though. Oh, it's just some sludge. Okay. That's better. And I may have to unplug the orifice that the needle valve seats on. The good thing about old gasoline is that it still is useful enough to use as a solvent to degrease things. That's good enough. Rinse off the float, which is still functional. When you have intentions on selling this stuff, you want to make sure it's going to work in conditions where the person who owns it might not have the knowledge or patience to do any repairs for themselves. You want to make it so that they don't see it worth spending the extra money to just buy a brand new lawnmower. Make it so that they're satisfied paying the lesser amount for a used unit. That will actually last them a good amount of time. Oh, that's right, we gotta clean out our plug too. It's really a bad time not to have carburetor cleaner, I'll tell you what. Alright, back on it goes. Threads are all dirty, it doesn't go on smoothly. Alright, you don't need to see me put this back on. I'm going to cut the camera for a bit so I can save the battery. Right, there's good. I'll leave the air box off because it's pretty filthy and I got to clean that too. Get this out of the way. And pour our fresh gas in. Don't need a whole lot, just want to get it to run. Make sure everything else is cleaned off of the deck. All the tools are off of it. A couple of pulls and this should work. Alright. Give it a little help. Let's see how the momentum works. I didn't put a ton of gas in it. Shouldn't be that little bit of gas to cause it problems. I don't know. I gotta properly clean it. But there you go. There's getting a John Deere mower going. I might add more to this video as it goes along because I'm kind of leaving the footage sit. So as you noticed in the when it was running, that wheel was spinning and this one wasn't. It's quite possible this one's stripped out. I think these just come off with, yeah, just a bolt. Kind of neat to have a cap on them to keep the look kind of clean. Let's take this wheel off and see what's up with it. Washer. These have ball bearings on them. Yep, there's the problem. All the teeth are stripped out on this one. So I'm going to be replacing, it looks like these ones are starting to go too. Looks like we're going to be replacing 2 front wheels. And I can try to clean up the back ones. Maybe I'll just replace them as well. Probably not, because that's like an $80 repair. Wheels are expensive. Yeah, that sounds awful. Well. Guess that's what we're going to be doing. Alright, so I decided to clean up the other machinery. So the verdict, we need, I'll grab it over here, a filter, and if we want to keep it to quote-unquote John Deere specs as the advertisement would say. You need to get both of those. You need to get 2 new front wheels because they stripped out. I'm not really going to worry about the back ones. I'll just keep the price down based on that. I need to address some rust issues right there. And I gotta say, this is a pretty awful design unless they wanted you to be able to plug that. I imagine this came with a discharge plug for when you're just mulching, but I don't have it. So I guess I gotta knock the price off for that. This finishing flap decided to give when I was pressure washing it, and that probably would have happened anyway. I suppose I could just fix it up with some zip ties, but if it doesn't cost too much, I'll probably just replace it. As far as the drive system goes, it appears to work okay, but I guess I won't know until I get the new wheels put on. Definitely gonna fix this up to sell because I really don't like how this is made. I don't like front wheel drive self-propelled systems because for how much weight a self-propelled drive even adds to a lawnmower, you're gonna want it where it counts, which for me is in the back, especially if you have a bagger on and the load starts weighing it down. This unit's rear-wheel drive, that's why I won't sell it. I like this one too much to just let it go. Yeah, it runs and all that, so overall a pretty decent score. So today is June 2nd, it's been a few weeks. I hesitated on buying the parts for whatever reason. Probably because I didn't want to spend too much on this, and I kind of just found a middle ground, decided I'm just going to clean the carburetor, put on an air filter, and then replace one of these things on this, and then just ship it. I'm just going to try to, because I want to get this sold. I don't want to hear anymore. I was going to add, there's 2 more things that it really needs, and that it should have. It's the mulch plug and the finishing flap here, which is damaged, but I think I'll just sell it as is. And I might go out and get a can of John Deere green paint, Rust-Oleum, to touch up this side that got all scraped up here. And then I have to wire wheel the underside of the deck and convert that over to a better surface. I'll use a rust reformer for that, and it should hopefully do okay for the next guy. I really don't want to invest too much in this because I'm very unhappy that I had to spend $40 on these wheels. So I'm not letting this go for super cheap. I guess if it doesn't sell, then it's mine until next year. I ran out of gloves and I can't get any more easily. So I gotta just wash my hands real good when I'm done with this. The gasoline still smells bad. So we're gonna clean this up real good now. Now that I finally have a can of carb cleaner. Why does everybody start their motorcycles up when I try to make videos? I'm going to do this away from the paint. Not a whole lot of ports to clean on these. hate this neighborhood so much. Here's the one I used last time. Let's try this one. I think it's about to rain pretty soon too. I didn't know this jet was that big. There we go. The biggest one fit this? No. Or second to biggest, actually. Nope, just that one. And I think we got it. This little guy screwed me over last time. I think this guy is what got it to stop running when I did the test run in the last half of the first half of the video. Look at my skin's drying up like crazy. I'm going to put some stuff on it. It's not good stuff to be using without gloves, but I don't have any. And one-time exposure isn't going to kill me. Alright. These ones. Wait. Hook it up. Got ourselves a genuine air filter. I decided not to do the pre-filter. In my experience, these engines don't really need it that much. Now before I start this engine up, I'm going to fix these wheels because I want to test the self-propelled system and the engine all at the same time. Briggs Stratton actually makes these too. They list them as both a Briggs Stratton and a Murray part. And I happened to notice when I took these off that the shaft these ride on is they're kind of bent on each side. Well, the gears mesh properly, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Alright, good. Both of them stripped out evenly. Alright, we have a working self-propelled system again. What I ought to do is bring the other camera out, have a spot set up. Feels like it needs a blade balancing, and it does need the blade sharpened. And I noticed while putting the wheels back on, this oil tube rattled loose again, so I gotta tighten it back down. All this moves a lot, and it's probably because it's not on there right. Oh, I never tightened it back on all the way. That's what it was. I guess I was planning on taking this stuff off again, but so I didn't bother. I just put everything back on it, finger tight. Okay. Let's take care of all that and sharpen the blade. Well, that sound you heard probably when I first started this up and tipped it back. It was a kind of a tinking sound. It was 3 distinct tinks, and it was these bolts coming out of the fan shroud that holds this gas tank on. I only managed to find one of them, and I did a somewhat thorough inspection of the engine itself. They haven't gotten stuck in the fins anywhere, so I'm gonna assume they're lost forever. So my solution is to just rob these bolts out of this one that I took off of another Craftsman. They'll work just fine. So we'll button this back up and then finish off the video. Wasn't a lot of gas in that tank. Finally ran out. So it sounds like there's still a lot of rattling going on somewhere. It might just be in this setup. And really, that'll go away when I balance the blade, I think. I guess as far as self-propelled systems go, this is probably the second best you can get. It's kind of a ridiculous way to do it, but it works. I just think Toro's system is better. That front-wheel drive surprisingly works better than I thought it would. I still like rear-wheel drive better. That's the only thing I like on this that I wish the Toro had. is they have a 3-point adjustment system. Both back wheels can be adjusted just by one lever. I would love for the Toro to have both front and rear adjustment for one lever, or like one lever for each front and back. Well, I guess that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.